16, so they do like Fortnite in school, but I just got to keep pushing it in both, you know?
My friends are really hyped about it. My parents are really supportive, including my brother. They helped me out so many times. They gave me a PC that I can play on. And then when my stream got bigger, they gave me better specs so I can stream and play at the same time. They're just really hyped about that. I'm top 100 in Fortnite.
First off, I want to say thank you to my parents that actually believed in me. Like, I quit my job like maybe 6 months ago, and I didn't have any salary, any org, or didn't have any money. But I made it in the end. I got some money, qualified for the World Cup. It's looking great.
Thank you for everyone who believed in me, because I honestly didn't really believe in myself, but we're here. We have accomplished the final qualifiers. We were going to New York. I'm so happy. Shout out to all my fans. Shout out to my family. Shout out to all the pro players that helped me practice and my teammate. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you in New York.
What's up, Fortnite fam? Zeke here recapping Week 2 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open Duos qualifiers. First up in Oceania, Cover H and MF Twiz were able to overtake the duo of Jam Zore and Jam Geese to be the first duo team to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final in New York City. Despite playing from behind after the first 6 matches, Cover H and Twiz were able to roll off huge games at the end, earning them the top spot. Shattering expectations from Scallywag Cup, Lux Cup, and the Fortnite World Cup warm-up, there was a new name on top of the Asia leaderboards when the competition ended. CR Bell and Scarlet #1 from Japan were able to secure the only qualifying spot out of this region. Their balanced approach of high eliminations, but also chasing high placements, let them edge out the rest of the competition. Their final match earned them 14 points, putting them in first place with a 3-point lead. Europe proved to be a battleground for its 4 qualifying spots. Requiring 58 points in the semifinal to even compete on Sunday, those top 4 places would be difficult to obtain. In the end, Energy's Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage M took the top spot, with familiar names like Secret Mongrel, Atlantis Metro, E11 Stompy, and E11 Tachinkin just behind them in 2nd and 3rd place. Lootboy Scram and Mexi took the final spot, pushing out Solary's Airwalks and Nikov in the very last match with a 20-point performance. Stompy and Benji Fishy also became the first 2 players in Fortnite history to qualify for both the solo and duos competition at the Fortnite World Cup final. Over in Brazil, code W7M Nix continued to prove he is one of the players to watch coming out of South America. After a 2nd place finish last week, he and his duo of W7M's PF Zin were able to secure the only duo qualifying spot. Their 36 combined points in their 5th and 6th games gave them an insurmountable lead and let them ride out the rest of the finals in first place. The NA East leaderboard was constantly changing over the course of the entire session. Familiar names were seen at the top for a long stretch, but in the end, the 3 spots were earned by some relatively new faces at the top of the leaderboard. OT Spades and Wolfgang Krims were able to take the #1 spot with 90 points, ending with an incredible 14 points in the final match. The Misfits duo of Clix and Skeptic were also able to put up a couple of huge matches at the end, securing them the 2nd spot at 87 points. Envy's Linane, who just missed qualifying for solos last week, and LG's Tyler 15 were also able to earn 87 points, putting them 1 point ahead of 4th place and booking their trip to the final. The last region of the day had 6 different teams vying for the single qualifying spot. Ultimately, Arkham 1X and Bloom Falconer were able to hold off a couple of last-minute surging teams. The duo had only played together for 3 days before the event, but were able to use their consistent performance to earn 99 points and be the 11th duo to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final. Congratulations to those who have qualified, but don't forget there's still more Fortnite competition on the horizon.
To be able to place first out of NA East for the second week of duos, it was honestly mind-blowing. Crims was actually really sick during the competition. He had to leave middle of games 3 times. He also ruined his keyboard. So like the fact that he went through all of that and we still qualified in NA East being a very strong region to qualify in, it was astonishing. We were both screaming and yelling.
So me and Clix have been playing together. I met him in December, but we've only been playing for like, I'd say a month. And I remember Clix specifically saying, I don't think we're gonna qualify this week, but I think we got the next week in 2 weeks. But I said, nope, we're qualifying this week. And I guess my words were true.
And then when we were going to the Fortnite live stream and we heard we're second, I screamed as loud as I can. And like, now that I actually show people, like I know how to do it, it's just completely impressive.
We met at the Secret Skirmish. I was looking for a partner at the time, and I did not expect to win this soon, but I knew we were one of the best duos in the game. We won like 3 out of 5 games, so I knew we had the chemistry.
Seriously, it's an honor to qualify with Tyler first.
I was a little bit surprised because Arkham and I, like I said, just started doing 3 days ago. I mean, I guess it shows that individual skill can come out into a duo too, and we understand like how duo gameplay works and all that, so.
I knew of Falconer, I knew he was a good known player. We ended up doing really well, and I'm like, I want to see where this goes. So I kept on playing with him. We started getting our chem down, we started getting our end game rotations down, and we started taking off. And take everything seriously, and you will eventually get there.
Week 3 finals with the crew.
If we could shoot them a little bit further. That shot with Courage back here, it just seemed like he was so far away from everyone.
What's up, Fortnite fam? Zeke here.
That's so rude. I'm so offended right now. I'm so offended.
I'm the best camera operator I've
Look at that, man.
ever seen.
You're using the jib.
Guess what? We've got 2 very handsome and much smarter men than me, Dr. Lupo and Paula. Come on out, gentlemen. Great to see ya. Please stand over me. You're both great people. Have fun. Please just have a blast. Thank you.
He landed on a higher surface as someone was rotating behind him.
He's gonna have to try and use some opponent build to make his way up.
I think he'll probably want to hold that rip until he gets down from Polar Peak. Done, but the 95 body shot being enough there. Now North, another player we saw pick up a victory rail here, and this is the weirdness we're talking about.
I think Cam is doing replay stuff right now for the analyst section. Let's go see what he's up to.
That's such a nice rotation.
Too much pad on this piece.
I like it. That's good. That's good. I like that. Good job.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's me, Zekemus Prime.
And we got Sundown and Ballin who are going to break that down for us. Again, 2 more games out of Asia. How did they get to that qualifying spot?
Let's do that though. Did you record that whole thing?
knocks him down with the edit. Such a solid play, but Nork's actually going to come out on top. Gets a little bit too greedy with that edit. Sees an opportunity, but no. And you talked about the positioning of these terms in terms of loadout, in terms of materials. They were.
That's a wrap, Fortnite fam. Week 3 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open is done.
Yeah, it's done. That's it. But you can check out the replays in client. You can go, click the compete tab, set the region, and don't go anywhere. Week 4 is coming up on Saturday. And now, I gotta punch through this one by one.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week will alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/
fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday online open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. In just a few months, we will see the greatest Fortnite players in the world go head-to-head to determine who will take the title of World Cup champion and become part of the global phenomenon that is Fortnite. Hundreds of players will compete on stage in New York City for their chance at ultimate battle royale glory and their piece of $30 million. But let's look back at how we got here. The competition was hot at our first major live event at PAX West, where we held the Summer Skirmish finale. This open format pitted over 900 players against each other, and Morgassi was able to rise out of the masses and take home nearly $250,000.
A life-changing amount of money.
Fall Skirmish came next, where 500 players competed not only in Battle Royale competitions, but build-offs, challenges, bake-offs, and cosplay competitions to win prizes and value club points. This all came to an insane conclusion at TwitchCon, where Tfue and Cloaksy were able to fend off the competition and win it all.
It's Tfue and Cloaksy!
Finishing off the year, we dove into the Winter Royale when the first ever open online qualifier was hosted, featuring the top 200 players from North America and Europe. In the end, the stream Skype dominated the European qualifier, semifinal, and final to come out on top. And on NA, Nolan beasted his way through the rounds, outperformed the Infinity Blade, and took home the crown. 2019 kicked off with the Secret Skirmish, where Ghost Saf and Rise Ronaldo took the top spot in duos, and the solos competition ended with an unbelievable performance from Ghost Bizzle, who took it all with the most clutch Fortnite finish in competitive history.
Around, shot comes in, a limb for Bizzle, turns on the player above. That's it, he deagled the floor. Bizzle with the victory.
But this unbelievable action isn't limited to offline events. We've watched competitors get themselves ready for the Fortnite World Cup through their participation in the online tournaments. Fully open qualifiers for all players 13 and up has definitely shaken up the standard. Starting with the Scallywag Cup, familiar players like Saf and Zayt are continuously flaunting their skills, and we also saw new faces like WBG's Rux and Pika. But the veterans and big names aren't backing down, with players new and old challenging each other non-stop for the top spot. Beehive was a prime example of this in the European Blackheart Cup, continuing his absurdly consistent streak of dominating open competitions, while the Argentinian Dzeko was able to show off his elimination skills in a dominant Brazil region victory. After that, we saw two duo competitions, the Lux Cup and the World Cup warm-up, with a fantastic mix of challengers and established veterans able to claw their way up the leaderboard. The newly formed duo of Perfect Tilt and Mastoris have shown that they are not to be messed with, while the newly eligible European youngsters like Mongrel, Benji Fishy, Osmo, and Milan showing that they are as good as everyone believed. But let's not forget about Oceania and Asia, where we've seen the Chiefs duo of Sync and Skyla continually upsetting the standard and dominating the ladder. And Medicino, Top Faxfox, and the Crazy Raccoon Boys have all had incredible performances over in the East. We've seen so many different players come to the fore, but nothing on the scale like this. Who will be the next Morgassi? Will a Tfue or Cloak-like pair continue their domination? Will our winners be someone who qualifies early? Or will they have to sweat it out every weekend to make it onto the World Cup final stage? We could not be more excited to see the story unfold and to watch these players ascend to greatness. And who knows, one of them could be you.
first when I got 63 points. There was still one game left, so I was kind of nervous, but I was on top of the leaderboards. So I still had the kind of calm feeling inside that I was going to qualify. And then when it qualified, it was actually such a relief. I can't even explain it. It's actually such a big achievement and something I've been working for towards like almost a year now. So it feels really good.
At first I thought I was really good at the game, but then when I started playing with like Epic Whale and all those other people, I realized that I had a lot to improve on. So realized my mistakes, look back on my like VODs and videos that I recorded, and then I was able to improve like on those mistakes that I made, and it just helped me as a player so much, being able to get feedback from other people.
Keep practicing. It's actually a mental game. Like after their first two games, they'll get one pump, they'll get sniped, and they're just demotivated. You have to have the confidence to keep going and be like high hopes and just keep on pushing forward even when you're tilted. Like half of it's just not getting tilted in these and just keeping your mental strong and just pushing through and just performing how you know you can perform. Yeah, when I just qualified, I really was just sitting there, and I was like actually just a surreal moment. I mean, I was like obviously really excited, but I was also kind of in shock just because like it didn't really hit that like, wow, I won $50,000 guaranteed and I'm going to New York. Like, it's just crazy. Yeah, you know, my family, they're really proud of me, obviously, but I'm only 16, so they still want me to focus on school a lot. So it's been hard balancing the two, like Fortnite and school, but I just got to keep pushing it in both, you know?
My friends are really hyped about it. My parents are really supportive, including my brother. They helped me out so many times. They gave me a PC that I can play on. And then when my stream got bigger, they gave me better specs so I can stream and play at the same time. They're just really hyped about that. I'm top 100 in Fortnite.
First off, I want to say thank you to my parents that actually believed in me. Like, I quit my job like maybe 6 months ago when I didn't have any salary, any org, or didn't have any money. But I made it in the end. I got some money, qualified for the World Cup. It's looking great.
Thank you for everyone who believed in me, because I honestly didn't really believe in myself, but we're here. We have accomplished the final qualifiers. We were going to New York. I'm so happy. Shout out to all my fans. Shout out to my family. Shout out to all the pro players that helped me practice and my teammate. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you in New York.
To be able to place first out of NA East for the second week of duos, it was honestly mind-blowing. Crims was actually really sick during the competition. He had to leave middle of games 3 times. He also ruined his keyboard. So like the fact that he went through all of that and we still qualified in NA East being a very strong region to qualify in, it was astonishing. We were both screaming and yelling.
So me and Clix have been playing together. I met him in December, but we've only been playing for like, I'd say a month. And I remember Clix specifically saying, I don't think we're gonna qualify this week, but I think we got the next week in 2 weeks. When I said, nope, we're qualifying this week, and I guess my words were true.
And then when we were going to the Fortnite live stream and we heard we're second, I screamed as loud as I can. And like now that I actually showed people like I know how to do it, it's just completely impressive.
We met at the Secret Skirmish. I was looking for a partner at the time, and I did not expect to win this soon, but I knew we were one of the best duos in the game. We won like 3 out of 5 games, so I knew we had the chemistry.
Seriously, it's an honor to qualify with Tyler first.
I was a little bit surprised because Arkham and I, like I said, just started doing 3 days ago. I mean, I guess it shows that individual skill can come out into a duo too, and we understand like how duo gameplay works and all that, so.
I knew a Falconer, I knew he was a good known player. We ended up doing really well, and I'm like, I want to see where this goes. So I kept on playing with him. We started getting our chem down, we started getting our end game rotations down, and we started taking off. And take everything seriously, and you will eventually get there.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Fortnite World Cup Online Open Qualifiers. Golden Boy here. We got a great crew today, just like we did yesterday. We got Zeke, we got Dr. Lupo, we got Sundown, we have Monster D-Face, and we're going to have a good time here today as we are now going to go into the process of sending some more players to New York City for the Fortnite World Cup final in New York City. But yesterday, while I had some great games, also had some crazy moments as well. A lot of people in the community got to witness the event of all events. What was it called again, Zeke?
The unvaulting.
The unvaulting. There it is. I just wanted to say, because Zeke says it with so much gusto.
It's got the passion.
Yeah, right. The unvaulting. So yes, a lot of people here expressing their happiness with qualifying, but also people talking about the event that happened that decimated Tilted Towers as well as Retail Row. The island will never be the same again, but as you see a lot of other players talking about their big moment, the opportunity to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final in New York City. But there was one person in particular who I would say was affected greatly by the events of yesterday. One person who is now homeless, and we feel for you. We feel for you, buddy. It's Nick Merckx, who unfortunately for him lost his home of Tilted Towers, and you know, Lupo, this is heartbreaking stuff here to witness.
It is absolutely gut-wrenching. This shot, this angle actually really makes just the effect. Look at that. I'm honestly, I'm surprised you can see the entirety of Nick's face. Typically, it's only his forehead in the camera.
Typically, yes.
But that's how much he was affected, as he actually physically leaned back far enough that you could see the entirety of his face. Which, to me, that's a big statement.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. And also, one thing I will say, though, Nick, why are you so hunched over when you're watching this thing? Like, you don't have to hunch over for the event. He's always hunched over when he's playing.
Well, you realize the play is to climb into your monitor, right? He's physically trying to step his way in, and it hasn't
How
worked
foolish
yet.
of me. How foolish of me.
Come
to
on,
not
Golden
realize
Boy.
this. I know.
What are you doing?
Are you
a gamer?
I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm clearly I'm not. But yes, so F in the chat for Nick Merckx and his Tilted Towers. 8-2, by the way. Aiden lived there too. Just throwing it out
had the
there.
merch made as well,
It's
the
true.
Aiden Towers merch.
That's
so.
right.
The timing.
Now that's novelty. That's novelty brand now. So Aiden, there you go. Okay, so well, that was all fun and good. Let's talk about what we're going to be watching here today. So as you already know, Oceania and Asia already finished their matches. That concluded earlier today, but we're going to be diving into the games in the European region. After that, we'll be checking out some Brazil matches, and then NA East and NA West, which Zeke has dubbed NA West. I'm disappointed that I followed through with that, but that is the world we live in. Now, how does the competition work? Well, 15th place to 11th place gets you 3 points. 6th through 10th place gets you an additional 2, making that 5 points. 2 through 5 gets you another 2 points, making it 7 points. And then the Victory Royale nets you an extra 3 points for a total of 10. And each elimination is 1 point. We've covered quite a bit how this whole thing shakes up, and how a lot of players look to try and balance things out, because you want to be balanced if you want to get to the top, because we're playing for $1 million today, just like we are each and every week, and the top players will earn their fair share of that. But it's also about the qualification. This is what these players are putting it all on the line for, and they'll be joining names such as Mongrel and Mitro, or the likes of PF Zin and Nyx from Brazil, or even Lanon and Tyler 15. These are going to be some of the names that you'll be seeing participate in the duos competition at the Fortnite World Cup final in New York City. And we're looking to add some more names to the list today. But as I had mentioned previously, Oceania and Asia already have their matches. And luckily for us, we got Zeke to break it all down, starting with the OCE region.
Well, let's take a look. My man Zore here and Geese at the top. Now, keep in mind, both of these regions we're playing for prize money. Zore and Geese, man, quite the performance. They're going to take away that #1 spot. 5K, absolutely massive. Jalen and Skyla, these are two people that Sundown specifically had said, look, these guys are slayers. Keep an eye on them. They have come up there in that second spot. Ghost Zarby and Ghost Trap, members of the Ghost duo, finding themselves, or the Ghost squad rather, finding themselves in third. This is pretty significant. If I'm Ghost, I'm assuming it's probably super amped about it, as should should they be as well. And then obviously people like Goobals and Slayer, right? We've seen these guys before, time and time again. We also have a few replays just to kind of highlights, if you will, coming out of this region. It's a big deal, man. You know, this is absolutely crazy. These guys continue to show up week after week. I think going in, kind of starting the whole process, you know, people like Goobals and Slayer, I had no idea who they were. And then suddenly they just keep popping up, and I'm like, dude, why am I not paying attention to like OCE? Like, what's wrong with me? And what is wrong? Too many things, all things considered. But seriously, these guys are phenomenal, and I honestly cannot wait to see how they continue to evolve going through the rest of these weeks. Because I'm telling you right now, I feel like OCE and Asia, we haven't seen their highest ceiling yet. I feel like they still have so much room to grow, and they're gonna really surprise us. And when we see those qualifying spots, people they're gonna have to be going up against in the final, it's going to be scary.
Hey, you know,
scary.
In New York, it truly is going to be anybody's ball game, and I would not count out any of these players. There's a reason why they made it this far, why some of these duos have qualified moving on to the Fortnite World Cup final, and even in the solos competition as well. Do not sleep on any of the competition. And I've kind of highlighted this a lot every time you see me here, but the Asian region as well, definitely a region you do not want to take lightly, because we have some top players here. Speaking of top, Zeke, I hit it up. Now you got to knock it out of the park.
They found themselves at the top.
Hey!
Puzz and me. Hey! Puzz and me here. And then we see people like Quicks and Medusa, right? We've seen Medusa, I think, as far back as like Summer Skirmish. This guy's a Slayer. KGA's Sexy Boy, a.k.a. Bala TW.
Sexy Boy, my favorite player in Asia.
Back Ho. These guys, I mean, again, it's like we're seeing a bunch of familiar faces coming out of the region, and we're even seeing some that we may not know, and there's still 6 weeks of competition. Right?
That's right.
There's still people making it to Champions League that are still going to be coming out and making a name for themselves. We'll roll some of the highlights of this region as well. It's, again, playing for prize money, but seriously, these regions are so scary. I'm telling you, we have not seen the very best. You know, they still have so much room to grow, and I'm telling you, when they pop off, they're gonna bring the heat, okay? I'm telling you, I'm gonna be the guy at the front of the line that's losing his head, losing his mind and voice, the loudest, the fastest, because these guys just continue and
well,
continue
this is Fortnite is a mechanical game, right? There's just a lot of inputs that you're gonna have to keep in mind, a lot of things that you need to micromanage while you're in the game, and I think that Asian region is known for the micro and macro play from other games, but they've also carried that on to the action games like Fortnite, and I think it's very clear that they're going to continue to be a force to be reckoned with. Not only these players in their region, like Sexy Boy, we've seen. You know, I joke about the name because I think it's a genuinely great name.
Yeah.
But we've seen him in the top 10 numerous times. Clearly, KGA Sexy Boy is the real deal, is legit, and if it keeps on going like this, I could really very well see them moving on to the finals eventually. They just got to put that performance together, right? And the consistency is there, Zeke.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. Don't sleep on them, right? Like, I made that mistake. Do not be like me, unless you like to meme. In which case, let's become best friends.
I like how he was like his brain was just churning with thoughts there.
I was actually trying to dial myself back. I was trying to set up something big, and I was like, let's go simple. We have a whole show. We can do this all day.
We do have a whole show to get into, and I know you all want to jump right into the European matchups. I know I do as well. We saw some crazy games in Europe yesterday, which means it is now time to jump into the fun yet again, folks. So let's see. I mean, I believe we're going to have our casters coming out here in a little bit. We need some commentators for this. Anyone in the house? Oh, there it is. There it is. We got Sundown and a guy who looks like an extra from Greece. It is Dr. Lupo. I'm just going to let you guys take it from here.
Listen, Golden Boy.
Don't do it.
There's absolutely no way you could pull off a look like this because you're old. So here we are.
That's actually true.
He just confirmed
Doesn't it make it more accessible to you, or?
I have no idea, but we do have Europe on deck, and I'm excited to get in these games, Sundown.
It's going to be really good. Like we talked about yesterday, 61 points in 2 victory royales was how many you had to score in order to even participate today in this Sunday final. And if you are playing, you can see that 4 box in there. We'll be hopping into the most leaderboard relevant matches, so pulling them directly from that live streaming replay in there. And again, if you want to set your region, follow along with us and go to the settings in that top right, set it to Europe, and then go to the compete tab. You can hop into these matches as well as we immediately see Edwin picking up Merv with the heavy sniper, another player taking that one over as Circle 4 is closing, Lupo. 43 players remaining, 24 duos. So still a decent way to go till we get to the placement threshold.
Now you have to remember, relative to yesterday, today is going to be probably a little more strategic gameplay, a little slower, because players are very, very cognizant of the fact that if they do get a little too aggressive, it could honestly cost them their ticket to New York City. Yesterday, you had far more players. I would say a much wider skill range in those games, so you saw significantly higher elimination counts than typical. But this will be, we'll look at jumping in right here, the duo from CC. No elims thus far, but 14 points total. Not a bad start here.
No, not a bad start at all. And again, just to clarify, you talk about kind of that skill disparity between Saturday and Sunday. We're talking about the difference of maybe kind of being that top 1%, you know, being up in that champion league, to being in the top 0.01%, being the best of not hundreds, not thousands, not tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but the millions of players who are trying their hand and trying to compete as they are able to convert on one of those late rotators. Like the Gray going back to the lobby. They are clean elim as Circle 5 is now closing in. And we can see kind of how these players are spread out, everyone being exceptionally safe.
Ray, as a Discordia for a second there, we were watching, had a kind of a top-down view on quite a few players. They didn't have to expose the backside. They weren't the highest on the map. They did have a view of players rotating, which means essentially free eliminations, free shots at players as they're on the move. We'll double edit here. Dr. Pax looking down. Home right next to him, trying to see if they can get a bead on what they hear underneath. There are tons of layers below, quite a bit of loot sitting out in the open right there.
Yeah, and I mean, just the amount of the grenade launchers you hear going off, da-dunk, da-dunk, da-dunk. We talk about just pouring those in towards the structures, hoping to find something. Looks like they were. And there's also the first baller we've seen going past. You know, one thing we talked about, Europe in duos in particular, doesn't really tolerate ballers. They see them and they shoot them.
So right here, Pax Flantome, that elimination that was out exposed, you saw down in the stink down below. There's a ton of loot sitting there, and yeah, it would have been hugely beneficial to push down to get it, but honestly, the play that they made of waiting, just baiting the loot, because they know somebody's going to roll through there. In fact, Run Force also getting lasered.
Almost lost his entire baller right away.
There's no reason to go for it when you can use it as an opportunity to take shots, people.
And now, hopping right on board with Ritz and Zypan, two players signed by Raised by Kings recently, their first venture over into Europe. These are two very underrated players. Zypan was a player, I forget which team he played for. I know it started with E back in the day, but has been in the scene for a while. It was Epsilon, there we go, remember it. Been in the scene for a while, been able to really grind his way up and get himself there. But these are two players, they've been challenging. They're on every single one of these leaderboards, not only getting high placements, but also getting high eliminations in a region where it is so absurdly competitive. And you can see them already sitting on 33 points. We saw other people in this lobby on 14, so they're off to a great start. You have Kuna and Beehive as well, rotating through the middle tarp. You have Kaijui and Senior Striker on the high ground, Fueko on the low ground. You have Robin and Bitflux right next to Robek and the Raised by Kings pair, as they're right next to J-Kai from Method as well. Ritz looking to looking to line these guys up as the stink ends up coming in on them, but not able to find it as we get close to the first placement threshold. 18 teams left, and Precious, that was Precious. Back to lobby you go. Great pump shot coming out from Zypan, and another one following it up. Picks up William. Will they convert? They do. It's going to end up going through for number 6 in a second. As we get close to that top 15, Willem will take over, so will Bronco.
Ritz and Zypan actually did a very cool strategy. Hopefully people noticed what they were doing. As they were rotating, one was in charge of building, the other basically waiting and baiting shots behind and out on the sides as they were branching out. And even in the middle of that move, during that rotation, they switched roles where Zypan dropped down one layer down and began to continue to build so that his duo partner could take shots on the move. That kind of strategy, negotiating and delegating roles is huge in duos, especially like this when you have an opportunity to take take shots at players that have no idea what's going on. 15 duos, by the way, remaining, which means we get into placement points. The Shadow Bomb there, trying to push Kahuna all the way up. Visually, it didn't show on your screen, but it did go off.
Yeah, he was invis there, one of those visual bugs we've been talking about, working on cleaning up, but Kuna making great use of that as a rotation. Now he's going to pop it again, so he is invis. You can see that double jump and him going off. The other players not interacting with him for a reason and getting on the far side of the zone. So now you've seen he has been split. Beehive's going to work back to him. Looking from top down, you have Striker and Kaijui on that high ground. You have the RBK boys right underneath him. You have J-Guy and Forzea right there, as well as Ipon now trying to challenge through onto BTL. Picks him up, but Beehive then also gets Tayson. So good split there. RBK also splitting a pair off. So now we're into the top 10. An additional 2 points coming out, but already 42 for this race by Kings Duo. Looking to challenge for, again, one of the 4 spots up for grabs in Europe. Will he be able to hit the shot? No, misses the first pump and then immediately disengages. As you see, Senior Striker now opting to work his way down. There's the baller rolling around, opts to instead hit the player inside the box, and unfortunately Ritz is going to go down. Needs to find the second shot and is not able to do it. He's going to have to reset, as now he's a solo rider, and he does. Amzdalo getting picked up. He's looking for the second player. He finds it. That's white damage right after that. Lupo, and he gets Freddy as well. Can he find the other player? No, he engages at the top, and then he gets cracked in the back, flanking around the side of the storm, and he gets Robonic underneath, and he gets into the top 5. That's absurd.
Big point swing there. Zypan looking to pick up a victory royale. His duo partner Ritz is down. He's going to layer up above and take ownership of as many of these surfaces as possible. Even if he doesn't necessarily have to push through it, he's trying to bait shots here. Looking for the pump on the outside, right at the edge of the storm right now. Trapping up the box as a just in case, kind of a fallback. Somebody tries to follow him through the stink, zoning him away. 3 duos left, 5 players total, and Zypan is all by himself. No builds remaining, 44 HP, looking for a shot through and can't quite find one, can't jump his way back up. He's gonna have to try and get an Elim before he ticks out of the edge of the storm.
He gets it down.
Almost picks it up, down to 2 duos. It is a 2v2, but Beehive's duo, Kuna still up above, looking for every opportunity they can. Just gonna kind of bunker up down here, move with the storm, last second movements, and in just a second, 37 HP. Beehive's only opportunity was to try and pick up an Elim, and he couldn't quite find it. Victory Royale, Striker, Kayuji? I apologize, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that one.
I
6 eliminations.
Kajui just trying their best, but those were the pair who were able to take the high ground, work their way down, close it out. Great effort from Zypan to try and take it clear, but unfortunately not enough.
Earlier we had a wide angle shot. People remember they were all the way up top pretty much the entire, I would say, last 10 duos remaining. They had top down the entire time. That high ground advantage it can't be overstated. It is extremely important. In fact, fighting for the high ground advantage, you see right here, players flying in might not be enough. Malchik looking for the follow through, and he does pick it up. Malchik and Nova getting a pair of eliminations there.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like they have a ton of the utility to be able to heal that one up. So does get the Siphon coming through, the extra 100 HP, and has the mats, but other than that, going to be a little lighter on effective HP.
Now, rotation here could be difficult. However, Malchik, Nova, they do have the zone already, and they do have Shadow Bombs, which we've already seen in the first match. Those can be utilized in pretty interesting ways. You have players that don't have any other option. They'll pop one of those and wall jump off of opponent structures and try and make their way towards the edge of the safe zone. Even playing just, even out in the open, because if people can't see you, there's no reason that they're gonna shoot down there. So you're kind of, it's a free move.
Yeah, so for players who are new or haven't had a chance to kind of experience with the smoke bombs that much, it gives you a brief period, I believe it's around 5 seconds, maybe slightly less, of invisibility. You're able to double jump, and then you can wall jump. What that means is you can jump and then press the spacebar or whatever you have bound for jump, could be that A button or X on controller, and then as long as you're still going up and you don't touch the ground, you remain invisible. So particularly when you get in these areas where there's so many player-built structures, if you rotate quickly, it's basically a free, either slightly vertical, but definitely horizontal rotation that can get you across open space, pretty much uncontested. However, you can take AoE damage from something like this boom bow or a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher.
Say we cut over to Alex, you mentioned it. The boom bow in a situation like this, Alex is he's not gonna stick his head up at the top. He's not looking to be exposed for too long, but he is looking for window shots just like that. Any chance just to sneak a shot in, because even an indirect hit does 100 damage. So if you have someone that's sitting on no shield, that's potentially a knockdown. If they are full shield, then you're gonna have them on the spot. And Nezra's duo right there. Both players sitting up the top of this medal one by one. They basically have uncontested high ground, minus the other duo that was all the way across. There's no sense in them taking shots at this point. Alex is just looking for opportunities to beam players that boom bow. Even a shot on a baller, you remove half the HP of the baller. Like I said, he's literally just looking for players on rotation that are temporarily exposed, because the boom bow is so effective when fully drawn. It's extremely lethal. Does pick up that elimination, looking for a follow through on the second. Gets a tag on the way down, maybe a little bit of fall damage. Could get a shot from above here. Does in fact find it. Lush gets knocked. Get a duo moving in the high ground at the forefront of the storm. They're going to have to make a move now. Alex potentially challenging for high ground. A little risky. Gets the siphon from the previous knock, so he's not doing too bad. About 188 total HP. Trying to move ahead and stay on top of this storm. You don't want to get caught against the edge. We've seen countless times players will sit at the edge of the storm, slowly move with it, and just take shots at people that are trying to push their way out, because not only are they taking damage and getting pressure applied from the edge of the storm, but they're extremely exposed. You're pushing directly forward into other players' structures, you're going to get popped. 18 HP here. Wayne has 3 minis. Not going to be able to get one off just yet. Going to have to try and move forward the storm. No storm damage. Just find Nestler on the outside. Gets the knock. There's the siphon. 68. Looking for a follow through. Maybe damage to the baller. Potentially not a risky move there. He was unchallenged around him, but decided not to engage.
So the baller's not overly threatening to him, right? The player can drop out, but he's not going to turn back and shoot him. So then Wayne Nail opting to wait until the baller feels safe, drops him out, hits the one pump. Great decision making from him there. Gets the siphon and now has control of that side, but it's still back to the storm and needs to rotate through. As now we look from the top down. Gonna hop on board here with Wayne Nail and still not into that top 15, and he's just riding around this low ground because he has no build, so it needs to come down to the elims, and he finds it. Boys Hacking goes down, and he gets a second right away. After it, he gets a third as well. Underjudged player drops down directly in front of it. Will he be able to find it? Pushing through, that was Moko that he got with the second shot. Now, brilliant play from Wayne Nail. His elims didn't update there, but that's 4 coming out from him. His Dalid right behind him. Zach Kappa on there, but 20 frames, and Vulcan on that high ground right now. Nova and Magic directly underneath him.
4 eliminations, 30 points for this duo. We're in the top 10 now. There's another set of placement points picked up there. Another elimination. Nova does go down, which means Malchik is right through that box. Can't see the silhouette like we can, but the knowledge that these players have of position is extremely, extremely good. They're going to know where these people are rotating to just based on even how they would play. 3 shadow bombs, which means dropping down here, you have to realize with a shadow bomb on, you don't take any fall damage either. So he could pop one of those, jump all the way down to the bottom if they need to descend quickly, if a structure gets broken down, something like that. I've even seen players impulse into a flint knock, into a shadow bomb to make crazy aggressive pushes. Granted, those are public matches, a little different than how competitive Fortnite is played, but it's still an option for movement if needed. Vulcan and Frames do have the top down on everyone. There's no need necessarily to push too hard. Plus, right now, they have free shots up above. They have double layer underneath. These players are going to just try and descend as fast as possible, and Vulcan Frames trying to look for a tag here. Little defense, the poison traps in case anybody does rift back up or launch pad. That way they don't necessarily get dropped on. Alex finds an elimination through the wall. Sitting on 4 duos, 6 players total, and the bottom of this map is heavy with aggression. Alex basically down to 1 hit. Nezro still in it. Malchik forced out into the storm, and Randall is still in a baller. Alex not. Malchik finishes. We have 5 players left. Vulcan and Frames the top down on the entire room, and you have to remember this is for all the money. We're going to New York City if you qualify today, so this is an extremely important game. Randall, Malchik. Ooh. Malchik finds another elimination. Randall, Malchik, Nezro's out. 3 duos. 2 duos. Now. 2v1. The launch pad. All the way back up. Malchik trying to rotate around the outside, get high ground. He's going to try to drop risky. On top. He's still at 43. He's got a couple ticks of the storm. He's got to push forward and get back inside the safe zone. He's good right now. No.
Frames is healing, so Frames is healing. Entire's going to try and harass Malchik as best he can. Malchik needs to find whatever space he can, big. And he can't. Entire picks it up. Now they're up to a 39-point jump. Brilliant from there.
Vulcan saw the campfire. As soon as it was placed, said, no, no, no. Lasered it out, so it gets destroyed, knowing that there's no more heals in the inventory. That's like almost a free victory royale at that point.
Yeah, because the other player on his duo had already committed to the double campfire and the heal off, would be able to get the med kit off. That means Entire, all he needs to do is go challenge, make Malchik's life difficult, and despite him running that low ground, was able to clean it up, bump him up to 39 points, and again,
This is the European region. 4 spots up for grabs. It took 61 points yesterday to even qualify for today. This is the top 1,500 duos in one of the most competitive regions, trying to get one of the top 4 spots. It's all about the points that come through. Daedra from Gamers Origin getting a great knock with the heavy sniper. Now him and Miz are going to do everything they can to try and pressure into this box. You can see there the point totals. Top 15 is +3. Top 10 is +2. Top 5 is an additional 2. Victory royale is 3 for cumulative 10 total placement points. But each elimination also worth a point. And in order to get into the top 4, you've got to be doing both at an incredibly high level. You can't just be doing one very well. This is the best of the best.
A couple players rotating in on the structure that Miz and Daedra trying to take shots on. They couldn't pick up that elimination. Looks like a revive did occur. More players rotating in. At this point, the 50-50 circle, this half and half, does apply quite a bit of pressure to, I would say, a majority of the lobby. The thing is, if you have players that are already inside the next safe zone, this typically is this is the best opportunity to pick players off in rotation without really being concerned with being challenged, because if you're already in the safe zone, you get to watch everybody else move in. The mini-map, you can see the bottom right, there's only a few duos, maybe just one left outside the storm. Everybody else is secure. You have to realize, see, there's 22 duos, 37 players remaining, and they are already stuffed very tightly into this northwest corner safe zone. These structures are all, a lot of these walls have been replaced. Pretty typical strategy. People do that because they'll knock out like a metal wall. Maybe they'll pick up 40 material from it, and it only takes the 10 metal to replace it. So it's kind of like it's free material, and you get the structure back exactly as it was before.
Yeah, I think Bala gave it the term, or has the term termiting for it, where you end up taking it away, replace it, so it's not quite as strong as those natural buildings as we referred to them, but you're able to then edit through them. You can peek through them, much easier to move through when that zone rotation does come out. As everyone had been packed into about 30% of the effective play space, now they have to go back across it. We're not quite going up variable terrain yet, but now you can see trying to get those players off the community launchpad. Hits White onto 2 of them. Didn't quite get the knock though. Seth does convert onto Raisin, and he finds him on the other side of it. Great tracking from Miz to stick with Felix. As you see, so many of the lobby taking to the sky on this late rotation, using their rifts, using their launch pads, using their shadow bombs, and the lone couple ballers also rolling around. Not quite that spree of lemmings we're used to seeing on the low ground anymore. Europe saying, nah, we're rotating the old-fashioned way today with a little bit of new twist.
Not bad sniper, taking advantage of this shadow bomb, trying to rotate forward with this duo Hoppy. Let's see if he can get up top. Potentially a little risky drop there. Let's see if he can just climb his way back up. I had a little bit of a concern if he was down on the bottom, exposed like that, not near his duo. Trying to defend against that would have been potentially difficult. Made his way back up though. Couple layers here. You see he's not really covering his back too much. There's no need to because the safe zone's right there. Plus he has his duo. Does have that RPG with 8
double RPG
8 rockets.
Oh, did he just? Oh, yeah, Hoppy hit himself. He did hit himself. Didn't hit Bad Sniper there, but missed the RPG through the window. That's what happens with the nerves. Lecce picking up Expert. We have 16 duos left, and a great pickup from Not Bad Sniper. He's got a not bad shotgun either. Picking up the elimination, putting them into the top 15. Hoppy also sitting on less than 5 HP. Gets the med kit off. Now combined 7 elims. This is a huge game from them right now as Crusher picks up DRG as well. Hoppy does. I think he got eliminated. Yes, he did get eliminated. So now it is just Bad Sniper showing what he can do. And right now he's not a bad low ground warrior running through. That's Houdinix going down, getting the conversion as well. Remember, have to be able to convert on those to get the points. Seth H gets taken out again. Top 11 just needs to stay in the match. This is where patience is huge. One other player goes down, one other duo gets converted, and Lecce goes down. So that's our top 10. Great work from Not Bad Sniper, but the Gamers Origin duo still holding that high ground from the moment we joined the match to now, Lupo.
0 eliminations, jumping in with Supra. His duo Pablo is out. It looks like 3 elims total, 4 elims total. Finds Marijuana on the rotation on the outside. A little bit of storm damage, applying pressure, forcing Marijuana into an engagement that maybe not ready for at the time. Super at 140 in the low ground ownership. Grand Wish still inside a baller. Only a little bit of HP left on that. Probably about 100 total for the player themselves. He's pushing for an engagement, not the best. If there was knowledge
He's out.
of them,
He just got it cracked.
There it is. Yep. I was gonna say, if there's knowledge for another player, they see the cracks in the ball. It's a no-brainer to engage that.
And he missed top 5. He got knocked. He was the one to go down for outside of top 5. And now the plays from Supra on the low ground finds one, drops down the other player. Brilliant! Supra all of a sudden picks up 3 elims, gets himself into the top 5, and is making plays for him and Pablo. This has now turned into a 14-point match for them. What else can he do, though? It's a 2v1v1, and we know that Gamers Origin Duo is still up on that high ground. They haven't given it up. They're going to start working top down now. They're still up there. Great 54 crack, but Supra has the other player on top of him, and Daedra is the one to pick it up. Now it's a 2v1. Can they close it out? They need every point possible. Again, it's all about top 4. You need the victory royales for the tiebreakers. You need every elimination. You need every point. And Not Bad Sniper is trying to make it happen from that low ground miracle run to taking the high ground away from the duo, doing everything he can. But this 1v2 is so tense. You have Daedra and Miz on the right side. You can see Not Bad Sniper in the wide on the left. As the tracking cross gets the edit, tries to trade his shot down, is getting lower on builds. He's dropping down now. He gets dropped down, and they take him out. No explosives coming out from the high ground. Miz and Daedra clean it up. 18-point performance, bumping them up to 37 total.
If Not Bad Sniper had the RPG loaded, if he had ammunition, both were exposed, looking like they had essentially no builds. They were just trying to free fire at whatever was built above. That could have been such a big swing at the last second. Sadly, did not happen that way. Quite a bit of pressure applied and not even able to get a mini off. It looked like he was trying to move his way along the pre-built. Just couldn't get ahead of it. So duo from Lestream in the back over there. Duo from Loot Boy right up front.
Yeah, the 4th place qualifiers from week 2, so have already cemented their spot at NYC, but also playing for a portion of that $1 million prize pool, trying to get whatever money they can. Do have some ballers safely hanging out in there as we hop on board, and then looks like only Scram has one. Mexi going to use that new Shadow Bomb for the rotation.
They got rotation there. I think Scram just bumped into Mexi while they were moving.
Yeah, you know, a little
popped them head.
Little friendly.
It's a nudge, a little friendly nudge. Yeah. Hey, go on, bud. Mexi opening the door for his duo there. Gonna box this baller up. No reason to put yourself out there too far. Gonna try and build another layer over. It does exactly that. And a free tree farm, not bad. 123 build so far. Looks like he is probably already on max wood. His build count was not going up. But a good share there between the duo. Get quite a few players built up on the plateau here, and you do see the campfire going off, kind of a signal flare there. I'm curious if anybody's going to see that and try and take shots, especially if there's an RPG and a heavy sniper around. That's saying, hey, please, yep, there you go. Immediately applying pressure. They do see the campfire. No reason to not throw a stink in there.
Double ticks, too. Got ticks on both those players and just drilled Jace move.
Very
going down, and that's just illegal over there as well. Scram cleaning that one up. You have Vitality Keyless going down to saving Provoke and Majin. We're just over in that little kind of complex as well. Ludra gets cleaned up as well, but that was not their knock. You see T-Chubb, the solo qualifier, also getting picked up and converted on by Lox and Allen, as again, we're not even inside that top 15. Circle 5 is just closing. We have Nairo and Aqua over there. Actually, yep, no, Nairo and Aqua, the first place qualifiers from yesterday, trying to carry it over. The Stream Duo sitting on 4 elims right now. Heavy Sniper, Rift to go, Legendary Pump, everything you could ask for if you wanted to get a little aggro. The Rift means you can hold late on your rotations, look for fights, and you have kind of a get out of jail free card, at least for a circle or 2 before it gets a little too tight.
Quite a bit of gunfire. Sounds like a little stampede going on around them right now. They do have a couple duos. Looks like 3 different teams that are very close by over here. They'll look across. They are kind of on the forefront of the circle. Big shot there. Vato finds Booth through the wall, and they're both gonna just try and basically laser this wall down. They do not want that duo to get that pickup. And there it is, finishes the elimination, picking up another point there, putting them at 35 total. There's still 2 teams in that direction, but at this point with the circle moving, they don't have to worry about it too much. They can start watching for other players rotating on the outside. You have Mech and another player rotating across the top there, the Shadow Bomb and the launch pad. Scram and Maxi from Loot Boy still hanging out in this box. They were kind of in one of the more interesting positions as they were kind of smack dab in the middle of the safe zone. They weren't at ultimate high or low ground. They're just kind of in the middle, but they were able to pick up quite a few eliminations just taking shots, and they were unpressured from anybody else, which surprises me because as soon as you see a box out in the open, it's smack dab in the middle, there's quite a few angles on it, you know they're picking up elims. There's no reason that the high ground players especially would not take shots there, and they made their way through without being challenged.
So largely that was because of the angle of the zone. The zone was moving down and away, so they didn't quite have line of sight onto where Mexi and Scram had been posted up. So then when the rotation came out, they were able to move along it. But you see Nairo is able to pick up Husky. Illegal does pick up Nat, so Illegal is able to then get the conversion and get the point going down there as we get closer to the top 15. Those were two of the duos who were pinned against the side of the storm. You can see Scram trying to double back, get whatever materials he can, trying to be as efficient as possible. Gets exposed on the backside, and that's Oblivion making sure he drops the stink bomb on top of it, not letting Nymac get over to it, and then pops the shadow bomb, just saying, whoops, excuse me, don't mind if I do. Utilizing that wall hop to be a nice little ninja, and he's over on the backside of the storm with the siphon onto Oblivion to be back at 100-100. You want to know what a qualified player looks like for the World Cup?
Right there.
Go watch that. And
Right
again, you can check this game out. You can look at Scram and Mexi. Guaranteed they're up there on the leaderboard. Check out the match history. You can go and view it. Watch their rotations. Learn a lot. As we get closer to that top 15, Mert does pick up the knock. He doesn't quite get the conversion yet as Stuffs does go down. Another player from Fact. Another knock from Mert, but still not into that top 15 as Nairo converts onto Nymac. That was Oblivion's partner, so into the top 15. Everyone gets 3 points for their trouble. Now it's about the elims and top 10 to the next threshold. Aqua and Nairo still picking up elims here. Mert gonna opt to pop the rift and try and retake high ground. Dives past ultimate and just goes to reset, knowing he can't challenge 1v2. Aqua gets cracked by Hunter's Hen, trying to see what he can do, and he does find it. So now Nairo will be alone. Leo Caddy picking up Skype as well. So Vato is alone as we get closer to that top 10. Scram dropping down, trying to do everything he can. Both him and Mexi up against it. Aqua does get converted on, so it's going to get close. Oh, and Scram catches him off guard, and that's into the top 10 as well.
Big point swing there, finds another elimination on rotation. 7 duos, 8 total players, and the duo from Loot Boy already qualified, but they're the only duo left at full in this match. A lot of players trying to make sure they have ownership of all the surfaces. Mexi sitting at 105, 2 eliminations.
And Just Illegal just picked
50.
up a triple.
Oh
What?
my gosh.
Where did that come from?
Potentially fall damage, something like that. We'll have to take a look. Or an RPG if there's a lot of players clustered, especially at this density level, would not surprise me. Scram getting 2 up top as well. Loot Boy, that duo dominating right now, even though they are on the low ground.
Oh, and it's Just Illegal.
Mexi does get knocked.
He got him in the trap. This is Just Illegal, trying to put pressure onto this qualified duo. How good are you? Not good enough. Not meeting the Neo Rooch bar, unfortunately. And now you have a 1v1v1 as Mexi takes out. It's Leo Caddy in the top right. Scram, the already qualified player, in the bottom right, flanking out into the zone, going for the high ground take, and he takes it away. Double trap him off, and it doesn't quite fire, using the heavy snipe to immediately mitigate one of the traps, but does lose high ground. Now you have Nuji Naidu with Leo Caddy on the low ground, and Scram is just going to take it over, raining RPGs down from the high ground, forcing the players out of the storm as Leo Caddy gets another quick flank off to get around Naidu, but Scram finds the angle, and this should be it for the Loot Boy. He's just going to cash in on his loot, say, make it rain. I'm already going to New York City, but I'm in it for the money. Showing what he's about, trying to be one of the top 4 and just represent, getting the practice, but also getting a little bit of flex on in there, Lupo.
9 eliminations total there for Scram, and that last little engagement, that last set of engagements, dominated by the RPG, an extremely effective weapon late game. In competitive Fortnite, we see there a great example of it. This fossil is ridiculous. A lot of building out across the river. But to take a look, a little closer look at what's going on here, we got Golden Boy and I believe Zekimus Prime.
That's right. Thank you so much. And the Loot Boy duo, they're already going to New York, but yet they want people to know that they're there each and every week to take their money. Clearly, that is the approach that they're taking here. But we've had some, you mentioned, what was the phrase? Galaxy level, galaxy brain level plays
Galaxy
from a lot of our EU players here. What do you got, Zeke?
Yeah, so guys, we're going to jump into some crazy clips, hopping first in with Raised by Kings Zaipan. And we kind of talk about qualifiers. These guys are the very best. Don't forget, these are the top 3,000 in the region going toe-to-toe for qualifying spots. Zaipan here, hopping right in with a just unbelievable jump shot there over on Precious. I like this a lot because he sees Tracer Fires being sent toward his teammate. He literally sends like 2 bullets over and picks up an elimination in the crossfire. Absolutely crazy. And these are things to look out for. You're watching players rotate late in the storm. You're just going to catch them off guard because they're so focused trying to get safety. Here specifically as well, no builds. And he's sitting there waiting. He knows these guys are going to try and make these late rotations. And he's just getting them left and right. Now we're going to take a look at Waynel here. This, it speaks for itself. Jump shots, he's got those. Now, if you're a baller and you're feeling a little safe, not today. Waynel's saying, look, do not get comfortable with me because I promise you I'm going to punish you. And that's exactly what it takes to make sure ballers are not rolling around freely. This was crazy. Waynel drops to 10 HP. 1 elimination, 1 on his right. Boom. Wow. Immediately back topped off. He was down to 10 HP. Anyone could have breathed on him and he would have been knocked out. It did not matter. Now, not bad sniper. Maybe not that bad of a sniper, but great with shotgun in these close quarter fights. Look at him. Just going off, popping people left and right. One more here as they thought they were safe, trying to play a little bit of Luke Goblin, just like Sundown says. Do not do that, friends. You got to respect everyone else around you. Supra, this is the Galaxy brain. He has builds, 60 builds. And he sat behind the tree because no one, if you're moving around in these late game situations, you're not thinking, okay, there's no builds there. There's not, of course there's no one there. If there's someone there, they're trying to keep themselves safe and protected. And just watch, because of that, he's just literally running around, terrorizing the entire lobby off of just that one moment where in every situation you look around saying, where are the 1x1s? There's a guy there. That tree, there's no one, I'm gonna walk over here. It's safe.